Hi, Ajit. Welcome to the show. Uh, Essentially, you have reached now around about 400 million plus subscribers, customers all across the country, which is nearly around about one third of the Indian population. The question is that what next? How do you reach the next 800 million people in this country, and which is still not using any of your products?
I think we have more than 600 million people online today. And I think it absolutely is the right thing for everyone to be online and for the internet to be inclusive and the power of the internet to be available to everyone. I think the reality is a lot of that hard work is done by the telecom operators. I think the big transformation that's happened in India in the last 4 or 5 years has happened on the back of big innovation in access to affordable broadband led by Jio and the work that Airtel and Vodafone did that followed. When people come online, and the reality is Facebook and WhatsApp invariably represent the first use cases. So it becomes the hook for people to actually use data. And our focus is on making sure that we are building products that are inclusive, that there is no barrier in terms of people being able to easily understand them, be able to use them. And more, I think we're thinking very hard on the agenda of inclusion, Surajit, including on gender.
You have now around about four different kinds of platforms. How do you integrate and how do you monetize this?
Facebook and Instagram essentially allow companies to reach consumers that are likely to have an affinity towards their product or service globally. I think that's been the big shift that's happened in the last few years, is that it's very easy to find your potential customer. You're not constrained by geography. You're not constrained by the ticket size as well. You don't need to spend a lot of money to discover what is working for you as a marketer or a brand manager or as a company looking to drive explosive growth. You can spend a small amount of money on Facebook or Instagram, see the impact, and then scale it. Companies starting up, quickly discovering what's working for them and scaling up to build national and global businesses over a period of months. What would have taken years, our ads are of value to consumers. It's built on signals that we have based on what they do on our platforms.
You've also looked at putting in some equity in a lot of startups. What is your strategy there? Are you very choosy of the companies that you look at, or is there a particular area which you are looking at, or what is the thinking behind identifying those companies? Because there's so many companies in India which are looking for funds, and everybody they are getting funds also.
Great question, Surajit. As you pointed out, we have made 2 minority investments in India outside, of course, of the big partnership and investment in geo platforms. One is Misho, and the other is Unacademy. And if you've looked at the trajectory of the 2 companies over the last 2 and a year and a half, we're absolutely proud of these 2 companies and the impact that they're having on the ground. And we feel tremendously privileged and proud that we had the opportunity to come in as an investor early in their journeys. We continue to be open to making minority investments, Surajit. As you mentioned, there's a lot of capital, and rightly so, because there is so much energy around the experimentation and the innovation in the entrepreneurial world at the moment. It's not a surprise that capital from around the world is betting that not only that companies in India will be successful addressing the Indian market, but that there are companies who have the potential to go global. We have been looking at India and carrying huge belief in India for the long term for quite a while. And that belief carries into everything we're doing. I think the products that we are building, the programs that we have developed for India, but it also includes the minority investments we're willing to make. So my guess would be that we would There would be more announcements. We continue to be open. And we're really looking for founders that we are excited by, companies where we believe there is true innovation at the heart of those companies and business models that can go global. But we're not focused on any one sector.
How is your payment business going? Because you have been obviously taking time and putting it together, and it's been a slow process at the initial stage because obviously you have to get everything right. So when is that big push coming in? And secondly, also, are you going to look at collaborating with other companies, etc., to provide basically different kinds of financial products?
I think it's fair to say that we, on payments on WhatsApp, we are in the bucket of slow and steady. I think we are taking our time, as is very obvious, I think. And the reason we are doing that, Surajit, is one, we want to make sure that we get the experience right. What's made WhatsApp to be probably the app that has the deepest engagement with Indians and the kind of popularity that we have seen for the app around the world is that the experience is really easy, right, to use. It's intuitive, it's easy, it's solid. I think there's a promise of safety and privacy that people have embraced. And we want to make sure that we bring in that same ethos into payments on WhatsApp as well. Fundamentally, we want that experience to be as intuitive as sending a message.
How's your relationship and the things we were supposed to which you had announced with Reliance, where the integration of WhatsApp, the JioMart, and various other things which you were looking at? How is it that panning out now?
We have a great partnership. I think for all of the reasons why that partnership and that investment happened, which was, I think there was alignment in values. There was alignment in the idea that the power of the internet can be extended to everyone in India and can benefit every business in India. And with a particular focus, if you remember, on the first partnership that we announced between JioMart and WhatsApp, was focused on the smaller businesses, the Kirana stores around the country. And that work is going on in full swing, Surajit. I think we will have exciting things to share with you and others over the next few months.
Great. Mr. Mohan, thanks a lot for giving us time.
Thank you, Surajit. Thank you.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.